Hey everybody, welcome to Did You Know? This is episode 92.
Wow.
92, that's the year I was born. I wish. Thanks for joining us, Will Hankey over there. How you doing?
I'm doing well. What year did you graduate high school?
88.
Oh, 88. Okay, I'm 90. So, okay.
I was born in 92, but I graduated 88. That's how advanced I am.
Wow.
That's why you guys are listening to us today, because we are so far ahead of ourselves. There's nowhere else to be.
Right. We're still millennials if the case needs to be that. And maybe that's not a good thing.
I can't even keep up with it. As long as I'm not a quarantini, I'm all right.
Right.
My G. How you doing, buddy? What's going on?
I'm doing well. Just keeping busy. It's raining here. I know that you out in California probably don't know what that is, but that is what it's doing here currently.
You know, I saw a funny meme once. There was people sitting in an office in LA, and the rain. Someone says it's raining, and everyone runs to the snack vending machine and grabs their stuff and hankers down because they're not sure what's going on. And the next thing, a week later, it's like, oh my God, there's an earthquake, and everyone's like, huh?
Yeah. Wow.
We're more used to earthquakes than rain over here in California, and especially where I'm in the desert, so we don't see rain at all.
Wow.
We watch the news. That's all we can see.
Yeah. Well, okay. So we're the opposite here. So it evens out, right? If there was an earthquake here, I would have no idea what to do. So
I think even our background. Look, this looks like the desert scene I've got going on. You've got the rain scene going on.
Yeah. We did that on purpose.
We cover all the bases here. It's all about branding here, people. Take note. Hey, so what's been going? You've been busy. That's good to see.
Yeah, keeping busy. Phone is ringing like crazy right now. Lots of people, same thing I said before. Lots of people needing to be in front of customers, which is a good thing. A lot of new web development jobs, which is really interesting. Something that maybe because I've never really promoted it before, that we can build websites. Maybe that's why we never really got them. But now that that's out there in the world, they're coming in strong. So,
do you think that people pivoting, starting up new businesses because they're sitting home going, well, I've got no job, I need to start something, and they're watching the gurus and saying, I need to build a website, but I don't know how to. I'm going to get someone to do it for me.
Yep. I'd say that's probably 40%. And the other 60 is probably businesses looking at their site and realizing how crappy they are. We're having a lot of conversations lately with websites that were built 5, 6, 7 years ago, and they're maybe not mobile friendly. And they realize that there's these editors out here like Beaver Builder and Elementor, and that it doesn't need to require a developer to get a banner changed,
Yes.
That's a big thing right now.
I think that's a big thing. I'm getting a lot of that too. It's a lot of people going, wow, I really haven't looked at some stuff. And I changed one yesterday. It had the copyright 2013 on the bottom, and I'm like, oh, that's nasty. Yep. I mean, 7 years is a long time, but in the world of technology and search marketing and that sort of stuff, that is eternity.
Yes.
So if you are listening and you got an old website, change it, get it updated, do something about it.
Yeah.
I've been busy too. I went to and this is what I want to talk about today too. I went to a potential client yesterday who just opened a physical location, which is crazy in California because we're in lockdown, but he went ahead and did it on Monday. He opened on Monday. Crazy. And so we had a meeting with him yesterday, and he said, I just don't know what to do. I got a new business. I don't know what to do. I don't know as far as marketing goes and getting my name out there. He goes, usually I have the same sort of business in San Diego. It's all referral marketing. People talk to each other. They come in, but now I don't even know where to start. And I thought, well, maybe today we could have a conversation, because I know you're thinking about, or you're about to revive something you've been doing. And what sort of advice do we do? What sort of things do we do for somebody like your new website developers, and 40% of people starting a new business? What are those steps? What are those first few steps that we can do so that people can head in the right direction and not go down the wrong way and cost them an arm and a leg and a serious amount of time?
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I'd like to know your overall thoughts of what you told him from an SEO standpoint.
Yep.
and starting to build that foundation and the digital marketing side of it. I mean,
Sure.
keyword research is always the first answer, right? You got to
Yeah.
know you got to know who your audience is, what your audience likes, what they're looking for, so that you can start to build those things and poke at those pain points. That has to be first.
Yeah, I think that, and one of the first questions I said, who's your ideal audience first? Because if you, and this is I think a crucial part that most people overlook, is that you're not writing or creating content or assets for those specific people, and if you're not doing that, you're going to miss the mark anyway.
Yeah.
So we found out that he had. I'm surprised he didn't answer like most people. Oh, everyone needs my services. Jeez, give me a break. He did know that it was middle-aged women between 35 and 55. He said that's who it is mainly, because he does it's not I'm not going to call it a Botox studio. It's a longevity wellness center where he does a lot of oxygen, a lot of cutting edge sort of stem cell regenerative sort of IVF sort, not IVF, but intravenous stuff. So it's a sort of one of those progressive health centers, if you like. So he says it's mainly women who are feeling like they need a boost, they need energy shots, they need help sleeping, they need help with da 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 da. So he knew that he knew that his audience was that because he's had this business in other places, so he knows what those clientele are. So it was easy for him to work that out. If we'd asked him that from a straight out very beginning, I'm not sure if he would have known that specifically. So having said that, having known that, now we know who the target audience was. The next question was, and I looked at his website, and you're probably gonna cry too, but it was built on Wix.
Oh, fantastic.
I'm not a big fan of those sort of websites, specifically because you don't end up owning your content. You don't end up, if you want to change that, you have to start again, because you can't just take the files from those websites. Yep. And you can talk more about this too. And then you're paying a monthly fee generally for most of these sites that sort of bounds you to what you're doing there. Anyway, I went through his website, and a lot of it was jargonistic. A lot of it was. Let me give you an example. If I asked you how to turn, or if I asked you to turn the light on in your house, you don't need to explain to me how the electrons and the neutrons move from one switch to this, and then this electrical current goes here, and then at the end we have this incandescence of this globe coming. I don't care. I just want to know. I want to see in the dark what I need to do. Oh, you can turn the light on. That's my problem solved. Where his website was talking a lot about that whole, we inject you with this, and then we go this alpha, beta, gamma stuff, and da 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 da. It's like, I just want to feel better, or I just want to feel whatever it is that I'm feeling. So part of the stuff that I would be looking at firstly is creating content around the solutions that he provides rather than the methodology that he uses.
100%. Yeah. I had a friend that just launched a new agency website, and he's helping kitchen and bath remodelers. But the entire homepage was about all the things that they do. It was, we can do this, and we can help you with this, and we can help you with this, or we do this, or we have these procedures. But at the end of the day, it all needs to be rewritten, to, are you having trouble getting more leads, for remodel jobs? Yes. Here are some ideas. And part of it was, the story was wrong, right?
Totally.
I have a friend that just launched a new agency called Story Power Marketing. And his entire thing is around helping business owners get their story right, understanding their audience, and then writing the story so that they fit into whatever, funnel. Are you struggling with this thing? And you start to teach them about it, and they go down through that funnel. And then of course you have the solution, right? But talking to that ahead of time is a huge part of getting your marketing right, especially on those top landing pages.
Yeah, so go back to this guy. There's all that sort of stuff, but I think he was a bit hesitant to, start tinkering with his website because he paid some guy to do it, and he's like, well, I need to get some traffic in straight away. So I'm like, well, that's on our list. And you know, it's almost like a kid in a candy store. When I'm there, I'm like, wow, there's so many things we could do.
Yeah.
Like, I really have to back down and say he can't afford all of them. So what is going to bring the best result, you know, as quick as possible? And I think for him right now is probably something like a good quality video that is not an ad, but a quality content piece of video that we can run ads to, that we can pick the target market, pick a local area, talk about what he does as far as what sort of results he can get, and what solutions he offers, and then run an ad to that, because then we can always pick stills off that video to run still ads through, whether it's Google or Facebook ads or even YouTube ads. That for us, I think is going to be the quickest thing to get results. But of course, as you know, running ads, as soon as you turn the money off, the traffic stops as well. So it's going to be a bit of a combined approach. But firstly, to get some walk-ins in the door, I think we're going to go down the ad path just to get that moving with a good quality. It's a very high-end sort of looking thing. So we don't want to have cheap video. We don't want to have a cheap looking thing. So that's where we're heading towards at the moment.
Yeah.
What do you tell us what you're doing? You've got some new stuff going on with one of your sites.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm revamping a site that I've actually had since 2008, and I tend to it's probably gone through 2 or 3 iterations as far as rebuilds, and I tend to rebuild it, do a bunch of stuff to it, and then just kind of leave it.
Right.
And it's just a passion project, side project of mine.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm at that point where I want to kind of revive it again. And first thing that I'm doing is going over the design. Does it look okay? Is it still good? Is it loading on mobile? How does that look with as much people as are moving to that system, mobile as a platform? It has to work, right?
Yep.
And then starting to look at the content, okay, this content was written 6 years ago. Is it still valid? Does it still match our service offerings, our products? Are there calls to action missing? Are there things where I could get people towards certain pages? So yeah, it's a full on project to kind of start looking at it. And any business owner really needs to go through this, and a lot of them are, as we mentioned. It's a good time to start looking at those things, and like you mentioned earlier, it really goes back to knowing the persona and knowing that person, your customer, when they come to your site, what do you want them to do, and what are they going to do? So does your content match up to what you want to happen?
I've just done that same thing with my main social media blog website in February. It's been going, same thing, 2008 to 2009 it's been going, and it's been through 2 or 3 iterations now, and I got new logo done this year. I got a little bit more excited about moving it, and for a year or so I let it sit there, and I had some content on there that was doing okay, but then I started looking at it again, and I used some tools like Google Search Console to see what was still working, what are people still looking at on this website, and I noticed that there was a post from 2017 that was still good. Like, it still was getting traffic, but when I read it, I'm like, I think the info that I'm telling people is a little out of date. So I went back and I didn't have to rewrite the post. I just added some extra pieces to it. I did some screenshots and some step-by-steps and that sort of stuff. And then I went through my the rest of my site, and I got rid of crap. Like, there was stuff on there that was not relevant anymore.
Yep.
My site was talking about, there's a new product called Flipagram, and I'm like, Flipagram has been and gone. It died. Blab, it died. So I had to get rid of a lot of that stuff because it wasn't worth it. It was just junk on my site, slowing it down. So I did that. I went through it, and I guess anyone that's listening to this, go through your site and see, is there stuff that's relevant there, because it affects the performance of your site. So I got rid of a lot of that. I kept some of the articles that were still relevant. I plussed them a little bit. I made them a little bit better. And just since then, I've now 5x'd my traffic from what I had to, just by updating and putting some new, fresh content on there, 5x my organic traffic in just probably a matter of 2 or 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been doing that too on my Red Canoe Media site, starting to go through some of the older blogs. Oh, I'm talking 16, 17, so 3, 4 years old, and
Yep.
the content's still good, but can be updated. I just
Yep.
did that this past week, and
Yep.
so one trick with that is you update the publish date, but don't
Mm.
change the permalink,
Yep.
and Google considers that to be fresh content again. Uh,
Really
yeah,
interesting.
yeah. Yeah, so just change the publish date to whenever you published it. Typically, I put something in the title that says updated July
Yeah.
2020,
Yeah.
something like that. It makes the content look more fresh, and Google will then revive it. And you'll see it in your analytics. You'll see a nice little jump in
Mm.
people getting that content because of it being updated. And all
Yep.
you're doing is adding to it and making it better, right? It's not like you're
Exactly.
rewriting it, you're just improving it.
So with your site that you're reviving, are you adding new content to it as well? What other things are you doing to make that stand out a little bit better?
Yeah, it's an interesting situation. One thing I did was I started a Facebook group around this particular it's an outdoor type website. So started a Facebook group around that,
Yep.
and it's growing tremendously. It's got a couple thousand people in that group now,
Wow.
and they're posting every day, how do I do this or where should I go for this? And
Wow.
people are replying to that, and I'm taking
Yeah.
that and giving that to a writer and say, look at this thread and let's write a
Wow.
piece
That's
of
a great
content.
idea.
Yeah. Yeah, so
That's a great
that's
idea.
really helping out a lot. It's user generated content, if you will. It's just getting a writer to kind of structure it, put it in there, and then now we're gonna start ranking on Google for those particular searches because 2,000 people in a Facebook group is nice, but
Yep.
2 billion people searching for that same thing is even better.
Yeah. That's really cool. I love that. I love that too. So yeah, so that's what we're doing. That's what we're aiming to do. What would you do anything different than I'm doing with this new potential client? Do you think?
No, I don't think so. I think it comes down to using that video and repurposing it the best you can.
Yep.
And I love the idea of taking the stills out of it where you can and turning those into ads. But ultimately, if he's opened a store and nobody's showing up, pay per click unfortunately is the answer. The trick
Yeah,
is, I think,
it's like starting a fire, right? You start a little fire, you want to get it going quicker. You put some gas on it. That's exactly how I see PPC, pay per click, is putting some gas on it, and then once you've done that, have some good logs to sit there, so the fire becomes a self perpetuating thing, and you
yeah,
don't need to be using PPC anymore.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Don't get addicted to the gasoline as something
yeah.
you can just keep throwing on, because that's going to be a non-ending
I
fortune.
saw. I did. I went camping the other week, and I saw a guy cooking sausages with a bottle of gas in his hand. He kept going, and the flame would come up, and he'd cook it, and then go down. I'd be like, dude, what the hell are you doing? Who's going to eat those poisoned sausages?
Yeah.
Crazy,
Wow. Yeah.
crazy.
So very
Anyway,
good.
so go on, go on. I didn't
Oh,
cut
I
you
was
off.
just saying, very good. I think there's plenty of things to get started, and pay per click is a good way to stoke the fire, but don't get stuck using it all the time. Also, build some sort of a long term strategy in the back end.
Definitely. You know what? I think that's a whole bunch of good advice today for people that are just starting out, starting a new business, perhaps in this pandemic era, or revising what they've been doing. Follow some of these steps. That's what we're doing. And it's working for us. In fact, we've been doing this. Both of us have been doing this for a long time, and we're not changing our process really because it's always worked,
Yeah.
and it still works today. So don't go and get fancy. Get basic. Do it and you'll see some results.
Yeah, it also survives any Google updates, right? You're not trying to do some of this crazy stuff that you heard about and you might get great rankings for, but then 3 months from now you're nowhere because they squashed it.
Yeah, and that's been a problem for a lot of SEO guru black hat people, white hat, black hat. They're all like, "Oh no, there's an algorithm update." I couldn't care because I really don't think that I'm doing anything that's going to even be affected by a Google algorithm.
Yep.
Just creating good content. I'm not stuffing things. We're not doing any crazy things. We're just doing good, solid writing for the audience. Give Google what they're looking for as an answer to the solution people are typing in. And if you
Yep.
can do that, Google will reward you every single time.
Agreed. 100%. What are you up to? Are you teaching anything? I guess online because you're probably not going anywhere.
Yeah, no, I haven't got anything lined up. I am looking at doing a new different podcast. I've got another one in the pipe works. It's a little bit more, it's similar to what we're doing here. I'm going to be a little bit more blunter and tell people how it is. I'm going to call the blunt digital marketer. Boom. And that's coming out. It'll come out soon. I'll tell people about that down the track. But just continuing doing some content for some clients, some upgrades and things like that. Just business as usual, really.
Same here. I'm doing monthly webinars, but other than that, I'm not going anywhere doing any speaking gigs. Not even looking for any because
I'm not doing too much either. I'm okay with that right now.
Yeah, me too.
Settling down, getting some foundations in place, and then the phoenix will rise eventually.
Right, exactly.
All right. How about you guys? Nothing else on the agenda for you apart from the new website coming to fruition?
No, nothing else exciting. Just fielding phone calls from businesses that are wanting help, which is great. So
I do believe you may be going to some coronavirus hotspots in the country, so you be careful out there.
Yeah, we're taking a little road trip for a couple of days. So we'll come back in quarantine, I guess, for 2 weeks.
Sit 6 feet apart in the car. Hope you got one of those big bench seats.
That's a problem.
Put your wife in the trunk. She'll be fine.
I know.
Sorry, honey. It's for social distancing. 6 feet apart.
The limo industry is suffering right now. They actually could kind of change the tune of things, and hey, we'll put a couple people in front, couple people way in the back.
There you go. Yep.
It's an idea.
Run with it. All right. How do people find out more about our other exciting 91 other podcasts that we've done?
91 episodes. redcanoemedia.com/digiknow, DIGIKNOW. It's our little play on words there. And like you said, episode 92 we're on.
Woo! And keep those reviews pouring in. We love them. We love them. We do. Keep them coming in.
Yeah. Any day now will be to 3. Any day now.
I know. We've done one. I've done one. You've done one. And we're just waiting for that extra person that we don't know to do a review. Surely it's going to come.
Right.
Oh, we kid you not. All right, people. Everybody have a great weekend. Stay safe. Stay 6 foot apart and wear a mask.
Yeah. Talk to you all later.
See you later.